Why is it so hard to quit smoking? Ever pondered that? This question is at the heart of a struggle shared by millions worldwide, a struggle that often seems like an uphill battle. Smoking is more than just a habit, it's an addiction. And the main culprit behind this addiction is a substance known as nicotine. Nicotine, a chemical found in tobacco, is as addictive as heroin or cocaine. It's a sneaky adversary, silently creeping into the smoker's system, making itself at home. Within seconds of inhaling, nicotine hits the brain, releasing a wave of pleasure and energy. But as the effects wear off, the body craves more. And so begins the vicious cycle of addiction. But what makes nicotine so powerful, so irresistible? The answer lies in our brain chemistry. When nicotine enters the brain, it binds to receptors, triggering the release of a neurotransmitter called dopamine. Dopamine, often known as the feel-good hormone, creates feelings of pleasure and reward. Over time, the brain gets used to these regular dopamine hits. It starts demanding more nicotine to produce the same level of pleasure, leading to increased smoking. This is what we call tolerance. And when the brain doesn't get its nicotine fix, that's when withdrawal kicks in. Irritability, restlessness, anxiety, even depression. This physical dependence on nicotine is what makes quitting such a mammoth task. But it's not just about physical addiction. Nicotine has another trick up its sleeve. It alters the way our brain functions, changing how we respond to stress, how we concentrate, even our mood. It essentially rewires our brain, creating a new normal where smoking becomes a crutch to navigate through daily life. So the next time you wonder why quitting smoking is so difficult, remember this: it's not just about resisting a craving, it's about fighting a brain that's been rewired by nicotine. The battle against smoking is more than just willpower, it's a fight against a rewired brain. Nicotine, it's the culprit making quitting smoking a Herculean task. Imagine for a moment that your brain is a bustling city, with neurotransmitters darting about like busy commuters. Now imagine nicotine as an uninvited guest crashing the party. Nicotine is a stimulant that's naturally present in tobacco. When inhaled, it's carried by your bloodstream directly to your brain, where it mimics a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is a VIP in your brain's command center, controlling memory, heart rate, and muscle movement. When nicotine masquerades as acetylcholine, it gains access to the command center, triggering a release of a chemical called dopamine. Dopamine, the feel-good chemical, creates a sensation of pleasure and reward, making you want to repeat the experience. But here's the kicker. Over time, your brain starts to crave that dopamine rush. It demands more nicotine to achieve the same level of satisfaction, leading to increased tobacco use. This, my friends, is how addiction takes hold. And when you try to quit, that bustling city in your brain throws a fit. It's become accustomed to the constant flow of nicotine and the dopamine highs it brings. Without it, you may experience withdrawal symptoms like irritability, anxiety, difficulty concentrating, and even depression. This is the cycle of addiction. It's not simply a matter of willpower, it's a physiological response to the absence of a substance your body has come to depend on. It's as if nicotine has woven itself into the fabric of your brain's function, making it incredibly difficult to break free. But the story doesn't end there. The body is resilient, and with the right strategies, it's possible to rewire the brain, breaking the cycle of addiction. It's not easy, and it's not quick, but it's certainly achievable. Nicotine doesn't just hook you, it reels you back in with withdrawal if you try to escape. But remember, understanding the enemy is the first step in plotting its downfall. But it's not just about the physical addiction, there's a mental game at play too. When it comes to smoking, there's a psychological battlefield that often goes unnoticed. This battlefield is filled with habits, triggers, and emotional ties to smoking, which can make the journey of quitting seem like an uphill battle. Let's start with habits. For many smokers, the act of smoking becomes deeply ingrained into their daily routines. It's the first thing they do when they wake up, the last thing they do before bed, or the go-to activity during a work break. These habits form strong neural pathways in the brain, like well-trodden paths through a forest. Trying to quit smoking means forging a new path, which can feel unfamiliar and challenging. Next, we have triggers. Triggers are the external cues that spark the desire to smoke. They can be anything from the smell of cigarette smoke to the sight of a pack of cigarettes, or even certain situations like social gatherings or periods of stress. These triggers can create a powerful urge to smoke, even when a person is committed to quitting. Lastly, let's talk about the emotional ties to smoking. For some people, smoking is tied to feelings of relaxation, enjoyment, or even a sense of identity. It can be a way to cope with stress or to fit in with a certain social group. These emotional ties can create a sense of loss when trying to quit, adding another layer of complexity to the process. These psychological aspects of smoking addiction can make quitting seem daunting, but understanding them is an important step towards overcoming the challenge. It's about recognizing the habits, identifying the triggers, and addressing the emotional ties. Quitting smoking is like breaking up with a toxic partner. It's not just the physical dependency, but the emotional bond that holds you back. Just like ending a toxic relationship, quitting smoking requires courage, determination, and a strong support system. And remember, it's not just about breaking free from an addiction, it's about creating a healthier, smoke-free future. The health risks of smoking are well known, but let's delve into them a bit. You've probably heard that smoking can lead to lung cancer, but did you know that it's not the only health risk associated with this habit? In fact, smoking can significantly increase your chances of developing a myriad of serious health conditions. It's like inviting unwanted guests to a party that's already overcrowded. Heart disease, the leading cause of death worldwide, is one of these uninvited guests. Smoking damages your heart and blood vessels, making you more susceptible to atherosclerosis, the buildup of waxy plaque in the arteries. This can lead to chest pain, heart attacks, and even heart failure. Stroke is another major risk. When the arteries to your brain become narrow or blocked, your brain is starved of the oxygen it needs to function, leading to a stroke. Smokers have twice the risk of stroke compared to non-smokers. It's like playing a dangerous game of Russian roulette with your health. And let's not forget about lung cancer. This is perhaps the most well-known risk associated with smoking, and for good reason. Smokers are up to 20 times more likely to develop lung cancer than non-smokers. It's a grim statistic, but one that needs to be faced head-on. While these risks are daunting, it's important to remember that they are not inevitable. Quitting smoking can significantly reduce these risks, and even allow your body to start repairing the damage caused by years of smoking. It's like hitting the reset button on your health. Within a year of quitting, your risk of heart disease is cut in half. Within 5 years, your stroke risk can fall to that of a non-smoker, and 10 years after quitting, your risk of dying from lung cancer drops by half. The benefits of kicking the habit are clear. Longer life, better quality of life, and the chance to take control of your health. Yes, quitting is hard, but isn't your life worth the fight? It's clear that the stakes are high, but the rewards of quitting are even higher. So, how do you break free from the chains of smoking? The journey to quit smoking can seem daunting, but with the right strategies and support, it can be achieved. One of the most effective methods is nicotine replacement therapy. This approach involves substituting the nicotine in cigarettes with other nicotine products, such as patches, gum, or lozenges. By gradually reducing the amount of nicotine you consume, you can alleviate some of the withdrawal symptoms and cravings that make quitting so hard. However, nicotine replacement therapy isn't the only solution. Counseling and support groups can also play a crucial role in your journey to becoming smoke-free. Counseling provides a safe space to explore the reasons behind your smoking habit and to develop coping mechanisms to deal with triggers and cravings. On the other hand, support groups offer a sense of community where you can share your experiences, learn from others, and find encouragement in knowing you're not alone in this journey. But remember, there's no one-size-fits-all solution to quit smoking. What works for one person may not work for another. That's why it's essential to create a personalized quit plan. This plan should take into account your lifestyle, triggers, and smoking habits. It might be helpful to consult with a healthcare professional to devise a plan that suits your unique needs. Perseverance is key in this journey. You might stumble along the way, but don't let that discourage you. Each attempt to quit smoking, successful or not, is a step forward. It's a learning experience that brings you closer to your goal. And finally, celebrate your victories, no matter how small they seem. Whether it's going a day without smoking or resisting a craving, each achievement is a testament to your strength and determination. Remember, the journey to quit smoking is a marathon, not a sprint, and every step you take is a step towards a healthier, smoke-free life.